That's the start. That's 72 hours of work, and that's the start. This is the attack. Good morning!
This is the attack! This is the attack! It's the attack!
Episode of The Attack, and I know we say that at the beginning of almost every episode, but we just played an energy drink commercial at the top of it, and we're sitting, so it's extra special. Look at this couch.
It's awesome.
Look at the couch.
I love it. I can't do that. I'm in a skirt. Can't do it.
Aaron, we
do
still
this.
get paid the same. If we sit down or if we stand up, it's great.
I know, it's great.
I know, and someone said I could drink a water during the show. It's a whole new studio. This is great.
I didn't know this. Now I do.
Woo!
So as we said earlier, we're going to go through the history of the show because there's probably a lot you don't know and shouldn't know about us.
Yeah, now anyone familiar with the show may be thinking, how does a show get any more simple than what The Attack already is? Well, we're going to surprise you. You may want to sit down for this one because it's going to get prehistoric.
Yes. While we have only been on the air for 20 episodes, the show has already made almost 300 episodes. I
know.
That.
And people watched them.
I know.
At least my mom.
Yes. And we didn't always have this big studio with tens and tens of lights and cameras and action.
Wow, so impressive. Yes, the show started in a small, dank corner of an actual studio in a closet that would have made a high school AV classroom look like a NASA control center. Now, to show you what we mean, wow, what an audience I have today. Big fans of my jokes. That isn't a joke, though. We actually did it in basically a closet. The first 50 episodes were actually shot on, right now we use like very expensive cameras. This is the camera we shot the first few episodes on. So
look at that.
Yeah, 5 tokens. So
I like that.
This is a Sony Handycam here. You may know this camera from every middle school soccer game, Mom, and if someone gets kidnapped, they use these. So there we go. This is the actual. If we can go ahead and get the feed from that. It doesn't look that bad, honestly.
No, it really doesn't.
But it's no television show.
Yeah.
This is great if you want to shoot the Blair Witch Project or some sort of torture video. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's terrifying. Nope. Get the shot. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It goes farther. Digital zoom.
Whoa. Yeah.
So yeah, this is not ideal. We definitely didn't have the best hardware to shoot the show in the beginning.
But that's okay. I still like it. It's endearing, isn't it?
That's the one word to call it. Yeah, sure.
I think it's endearing. And if that isn't impressively terrible, all of our show graphics were made in a day.
Yes.
An entire day. Yeah, believe it or not. Here's an actual segment header we used for more than a year that was made in less than an hour.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've seen that.
Yeah.
It was so dramatic.
Dude,
it was really intense.
I used the cinematic boom sound effect. I was like, this header needs something.
Yeah.
Because, yes, the show, when we were conceiving the show, it was basically over like one long President's Day weekend, I think, and I used a bunch of templates, like After Effects templates, to make these like cool cinematic things. But I'm like, Kevin gave me a budget of $100 to make all the headers for the show for all our segments, like the pile and stuff. And I ran out of money to buy templates, and I was like, I got to make this one in Premiere, and that's what I come up with. We said it took him like an hour, like it took me an hour to do. That probably took me 3 hours, and it still looked like that. So.
Oh wow.
Overall, not a great header, and we did use it for like
cute.
a year, even like
Did you really?
up to episode like 100. Yeah.
Wow.
Until we hired an editor.
I like it. It's like you're watching an investigative show. What happens to this guy? You find out when we answer your questions.
Yeah. I was actually on an episode of SVU.
Were you really?
Well, I wasn't on like the taping, but it was based off me.
I believe it.
And besides all of these things, there was probably one thing you didn't notice. Erin wasn't on the show in the beginning. She was not here.
I didn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny Funny enough, they did chant that when you weren't here, though. I was like, this is... And they're like, this will make sense one day, and they turned into smoke and disappeared.
I was born from the universe.
Yeah, the first run of episodes were at... What?
I was like a Powerpuff Girl. I was born from the universe.
That's not how that works.
Born from the universe.
There was sugar and spice and everything nice.
And a little bit of cumin and a little bit of paprika, and you got some shoe.
You must have watched a very Latin Powerpuff Girls. Some cilantro.
Yes.
All in Chemical X. No, the show was hosted by me and somebody else. Aaron, I actually don't know what were you doing, Aaron?
What was I doing? What was I doing where?
But when you weren't hosting the show, what were you doing before this?
Oh, man. Yeah, I was a teacher. I was a math teacher. I was actually really smart.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I lost my memory. So today we are learning about entropy, the log in relation to...
Aaron, you got that part on the attack.
What?
Wow.
You know how I have such a hard time with numbers?
Yeah.
And sometimes letters? I think it's because I lost, like, parts of my memory
I
when I came here. And it just, yeah.
What a weird way to celebrate anything. You must have saw somebody christening a boat, and you're like, that's how they celebrate things. Wham!
Lots of candles, lots of fire. I chose glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
A romantic evening with you is way different than
But it's exciting.
most women.
It's very exciting.
That's true. It's like you're dating a stuntman. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome the original host of The Attack, my boss, my friend, and my boss, Kevin Pereira. There he is. All right.
Yeah?
Perfect.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Yeah, it's me. I'm Kevin. Yeah. Pleasure. Okay.
All right.
guys.
Hey.
Hey, man.
You getting some business done?
It never gets old, does it?
No part of that worked.
What? The show or?
Oh, yeah, all of this.
Everything.
No
Oh.
part of any of this has ever worked.
Sorry.
Oh, we can't take it again. We're gonna run out of film.
Mike, you good, buddy? Okay, great. Okay.
You are.
He's not allowed to
fired.
talk.
I don't even like fake yelling at him. He's adorable. He's the sweetest thing in the world.
Yeah, and that's
If
why.
they did a re-release of a Teddy Ruxpin, I'd put a cassette tape in that belly and just have him say anything to me all night long.
Was that before a boombox?
That's how they used to
No,
play.
that
There
was the original
rappers.
boombox. Guys in like Brooklyn
square
stuff would
one.
put a Teddy
Yes.
Ruxpin
Okay.
on their shoulder and they go
Yeah.
bouncing around to the hottest mixtapes. Everybody knows that.
It's that's just math and science.
Yep.
How's it going, sir? Welcome to the show. This is actually this is the
Thanks.
first time you've been on it recently.
Yes.
Probably, yeah. I think so. That was
Your
by
voice
design.
has been in it.
Yeah.
Your
yeah.
voice, but not your face.
Yeah, just
now
my
we
voice.
get the whole package.
My gentle, delicate touch behind the scenes. Yeah, you know, single digit or a double, whatever you want. Whatever you want. I mean, I was working on scripts and
Yeah.
you know, and sending emails and firing Mike and things like that.
Yeah, important stuff.
You were doing an inappropriate thing to a melon, though. I saw that off
That
camera.
was a Gallagher cosplay. Yes.
It was big hammer, though. Kevin, people don't know who only have seen the show on TV.
Yes.
What are you? Who are you? What do you do here at The Attack?
Alex, that's a great question. I am the. I don't know. We don't have official titles around here for the most part. I mean, I know Corrado likes to fight for his, but I'm just like.
I'm the executive producer, Jay.
I'm the executive in charge of failure. I'll have you know that, and I want to be the senior executive in charge of failure. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, wait,
and whatever that title is, Los is gunning for it always. Oh wait, is that actually Los's finger?
No, that's
No, that was Corrado's meat popsicle.
No way. Alex, that's a great question. I am just a guy who used to do a thing that was kind of like this thing, and then heard that people still wanted to see a thing that was like the thing that I used to do. And so I thought, oh, that'd be cool if I could help give people a chance to do a thing that they want to do, because I did a thing and I have an ounce of knowledge on how to do that thing. Let's see if that thing can get made. And that thing got made! And that's it!
And just in case we need like a shorter version for edit, you heard like cash register ka-chinging over and over in your head, and you went towards that sound.
This is all about that money grab. Everybody
There it
knows
is
it.
again.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing it. And when you get famous enough, you can grab the money wherever you want. You don't have to get permission.
Whoa! Hot diggity, bang it! That is definitely not making the cut. So, Kevin, you're basically the boss. You run this place.
Sure.
And you started the show. You started the show with me and with Los and Yaniv a long time ago.
Yeah, I think that's very generous to say that we started a show. I think we started putting a camera on us and going live. We had a sack of breakfast sandwiches that were very, very cheap, and we got in way too early than any of us wanted to get up, and went live on the interwebs, and there was, I think, 50 people watching.
Yeah.
I think.
You know what?
That was it. There we were. We were doing it like a radio show.
There is, Kevin was doing reverse hyperbole. I remember the number. It was 320 people were watching.
That's amazing.
25, I think,
Really?
were watching the first episode of The Attack.
That's incredible.
On a crisp...
So we plateaued from day one.
Yeah.
That
was it.
what you
And then
get.
we started going down slightly, and then Aaron came back on. We're back at 325.
Perfect.
That's a core audience.
Money maker.
That's all you need.
No, you could see, I mean, it wasn't, we knew we wanted to do a thing. We knew we would just talk about the internet. We would look at clips. We would hang out and have a good time. At least that was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think not much has really changed other than the amount of blood we spray on a set. But
Very true.
It's all variations of a theme. It was all just hang out, have a good time. If a show happens around it, awesome. What a great happenstance.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest takeaway is that we really didn't know what we were doing. At any given point I'm making the show, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm
Still
doing.
don't.
But we really had no idea what... Like, did you have any idea? Because you kind of brought me in and said, let's do this. This wasn't me going like, I would like to do this. You asked me what I'd like to do. I said, I don't know. And then you're like, well, let's do something. Let's fire it up.
I feel like you said early on at some point that at some point you would like to host a show, that like co-hosting on Attack of the Show, which was sort of the precursor to this thing, that would have been something you would have liked.
Yeah.
That would have been a dream. And so I said, well, okay, let's try that. And immediately after our first show, I knew you would have what it would take to host a show and to hopefully one day lead a team to help create a bigger, crazier show. But to get to that, we had to jam a lot of disgusting food in your mouth and pelt you with paintballs. He was in a big bucket in case he vomited, which he did.
In case you took a poo-poo?
It was any...
I censored.
It was a bit...
Do you like censored,
I'm like
Aaron?
a big flesh donut, and anything you never know where it's going to fly out.
It's just a king toes, and if he arcs the right way,
Whoop,
the food goes straight through him.
We've all had it at both times, at both ends. It's not fun.
Unless it's Burning Man, am I right?
Yeah! So chill! Let's go to the Vision tent.
So I don't know that we were starting a show. I just knew that we could start something, and part of the goal, at least with me, was to sort of introduce you to whatever audience would come along for the ride. Apparently it was 300 some odd people the first day, which is great, and to just slowly build that rapport and build the show and keep iterating until we would see where it would go, and it led us to somewhere.
And boy, were they receptive to a tall coat rack with big teeth.
Yeah.
Man.
They were like, Kevin's on Ellen. Oh, wait, no, Kevin's hosting with Ellen? Oh, wait. That's not, okay.
That's a small boy. So let's talk about that first show, if you want to. I don't remember much of it. I don't
remember any of it.
I don't either.
I've never watched it, but I think there was a... Have you never watched it?
No.
I like how you just said, I've never watched it. She said the same thing, and then, what?
Sure.
You've never seen the brilliance of Attack Episode 001?
If they
I don't even know where to find it. Where would it be?
If they
Dark
said
web at this point?
in a recycle bin, yeah.
It's a recycle bin.
Exactly.
But if they were going to say, like, hey, you're the new Caruso, you're going to be the guy on CSI Miami, I'd watch the first few episodes.
Yes. We are basically CSI Miami. We're
Yes,
at that
we're on
level.
for too
I'm
long.
so ready for this.
You're going to play the lady who dies on the tracks, Aaron.
Yeah, no, that's the 1800s one.
The what? Like the damsel in distress on the tracks?
I don't know.
You mean was there a CSI 1800s? Does that exist?
Now there is.
There is now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
There is
basically
now.
the same crimes as SVU, but with a
Oh,
horse.
I do remember what we did on the first show because the bullet is in the prompter. That was the
Yes.
thing I used to read when I had a show.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what we were doing, but we knew we were doing something on Twitch, which was video games and silly, and we had the breakfast budget was about all we had. We had $0 to start. So I was deficit financing right from the start.
And those were expensive breakfast sandwiches.
I was $17 in the red of that first episode, and I remember what could we do? What could we do? And we said if people were to donate or they couldn't subscribe at the time. We said if people would follow and donate, then that would unlock us slow jamming some consoles. So I was like, hey, do you want to see Alex slow jam a Super Nintendo?
Mine was the mine was N64, I feel like.
N64, okay.
Yeah.
And Los was even going to slow jam, and I might have had a slow jam.
Slow jamming is either something you make, like jam, like you eat it, or slow
Takes a
jamming,
long while.
like the music.
That is a great question. Do we have a visual? Do we have a visual answer?
Console, I have no.
Oh, yeah.
This might be.
Also, the only time... I will say, the only time I've ever worn a tank top on the show. And the last time.
This is not going to make it to Disney.
No, there's no way.
Okay, all right. This is for arcade.
I ripped that cut. They said never do it without a cartridge. Oh, I flipped it over.
Slow jamming. When you slow jam it. Well, yeah, you put on a slow jam to have a slow jam. Now this one. Okay, now this one.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Okay, yeah. And
Have you ever thought about?
the analog toggle.
Doing this with a woman? No, I've never done it with a woman.
This is like,
What?
This is Aaron. This is a rare peak. This is someone that literally one woman has seen.
Yeah, no one.
What was she?
This is basically the Ark of the Covenant. Once
You
somebody
went
sees it,
all
their face
out.
melts.
Yeah.
I feel like it is.
He even cleaned the slot.
It's like watching my brother. It really grosses me out.
Well, you are from a rural part of the country,
grosses me
so
out.
that's probably
Ugh.
something you have seen.
It's weird.
So at
But
the end of
you
that
have
show,
never-
Kevin,
Have you ever
Did
thought
your
about
brother get kicked out of a
another career?
Blockbuster? What happened
No.
with your brother?
No, I said it's like watching my brother. A brother, like if you. were
A
my
brother. Okay,
your
got it.
brother
Not my
super hot?
actual brother.
Yeah.
Huh?
Is your brother super hot?
No.
So I remember a segment that we did because we had, again, $0 and we had a very, very small community and we had to grow it as organically as possible. We said, how...
You always focus on the money. We had $0. I lost $17. Then we still had no dollars.
This
That's
is
a
not
lot
a
of
this is
money.
not a break-even operation for me today. So it's clearly not about the dollars. I'm saying that we had no money, so the idea of using pomp and circumstance and production to distract from the fact that there's a lack of creative, that doesn't exist. So the $0 is actually a point of pride. We had to figure out what we could do that would be entertaining or compelling or at least just bizarre enough to get people's attention. And we had no money to do it.
I
It's
think
also,
cheap,
it's also
though.
not get people's attention. We were funded by the audience, so we had to get them interested enough to want to pay for the content.
Hence,
Yes.
you have no money. We need to engage an audience. We want to make them
do.
feel pride in what we're doing and give them a sense of connection. So you throw Yaniv in a costume. You call it Gerard Depardieu, which was his idea. His idea.
He's allowed to say that.
His idea. And when people backed us on Patreon, they would get a little slam-a-jam poem that Gerard Depardieu would create for them. Just
Watch it.
Have a 5 to 7 second clip of the Gerard Depardieu performing a live improv haiku slam-a-jam with your full name, and you know the man is a genius.
He really
He
is,
is
yes.
Cut to Gerard again.
Do it again.
Gerard, give him a little taste of your magic. Just a
Oh,
Gerard.
where is it? Gerard! Oh, no!
Kevin! He's getting too emotional.
Yaniv. What a great guy.
what a great guy. But that's when I knew we might have had a little something. The audience reacted well, and we had fun, and that's all that matters.
Did you really think what we were making was good?
100%. Oh, no. I mean,
Yes, he thinks.
good enough. Good enough.
Good enough to keep doing.
Again, no, I mean, honestly, like, no art is never finished. It's sort of just abandoned and released into the ether. Some art gets abandoned way earlier, and that's kind of what those early shows were, was just get it out. But then, we found our stride.
We leaned a
did-
lot of on bad things happening to me. That was, that was
Yeah.
something that happened often.
That's great. It's called earning your stripes. That was, but you know what? Bad things happen to me too, like our foot wedding. That
Yeah,
was
you were involved with that. I
a
think
lot of
that's
people hated
bad
that.
to just be.
That was terrible.
You had a foot wedding?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
Whose feet married who?
our feet got married actually
Yeah, me
in
and
the
Kevin.
bit, and then there was a whole foot reception with which an evil hand showed up and murdered the feet at the foot wedding
That's brilliant. Do you guys still have your toe rings on? All
Yeah.
the time.
all the time.
That's
Wearing toe rings,
time.
ankle bracelets,
Yeah, he's my soulmate.
and nobody liked it.
My gosh, I love
Those were in the bit.
Yeah,
There's
that
a lot.
that was stolen directly from the script,
A lot of that are in the bit.
which you wrote. You wrote all those.
Yeah, is it
terrible
okay
puns,
to
so
steal from yourself?
You got
is that
it.
all right?
Well, it wasn't an A+ joke, but yeah, I feel like you could.
Oh wow.
I think it was fine.
Yeah. No, I forgot. I'm in the
love-
basking in the glow of royalty, the king of comedy
Hey,
is here. So
Kevin,
please.
don't cry. It's not like you're cutting bunions.
That was also in the bit, and
Boy.
so now it's.
So, Kevin, let's go ahead and I want to get some more people on this couch, more people that are important to the show, to me,
Yeah.
to Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor's important to you,
That's why
right?
everybody has so much fun improvising with you, Alex. All right. Are you going to do this last one or no?
I wanted to ask you about one of your favorite early moments.
Oh, did you? I'd rather. Aaron, can you ask me about it?
What's your favorite moment?
Oh, I'm so glad
From
you
all the
asked, Aaron.
episodes, 300
Well, I got to
of
tell you, hard to pick because right now I think I'm having my favorite moment that I've ever had on this show. And dare I say it, in the history of my career.
Oh my God.
Because sometimes you set your eyes upon something and you realize just the beauty and the majesty and the purity of a human and a performer, and you are that in spades.
Wow, you are
And
so sweet and loving.
so
And
much. I love you so much. Oh, sorry, that's you.
I feel like that love is being directed somewhere else.
What? No, it's all love. You all right?
Favorite thing to put on a sandwich?
All right?
I hurt my fro.
Oh no.
I thought you didn't want me to bring up the fro. That's in the contract, but you could bring it up.
I did have an afro in the beginning, and then I roped it back, and I haven't gotten a haircut in a while, and now I have an afro again.
Bring it back.
Leave me alone with my afro.
Bring the afro back.
It's my Sicilian descent. Stop it!
We really have a modern family around these parts, don't we?
Speaking of, hey, I
So, Kevin,
Nolan Gould.
My favorite
Out of
moment on the show?
all of these favorite moments. What's your favorite?
Earlier on, I played it. I don't know that it was my favorite moment. I had a really fun time doing it, but I think the audience reacted very favorably to a character named Don Lasagna. Thank you. The Don. There was no character. There was a rough idea for an Italian.
If you remember, it was one person who kept. It was you. The character was Kevin Pereira, who was disguised as other people. So you were supposed to step out of the picture, and it was me and and it was me and my co-host, and you tried to step in to see how things were going, and you were Ron Lasagna at first. He was a yoga instructor.
Oh, that's right.
And then you were Don Lasagna,
Right. And then Don Lasagna,
who was the
brother?
chef.
Yeah, and I just
Brothers.
remember it was. Why was I mad? Because Evan ruined a moment between you two or something like that? Didn't I say that she ruined a moment?
You did. There was some you ruined something magical, and you yelled at her,
Yeah.
and
There's just a snow globe of a human being. Evan Friedman was on the show for a hot minute, and we were doing Let's Plays and doing the show and doing things, and she's just the sweetest thing, and I just tore into her, and I remember seeing her.
As Don Lasagna?
Yeah, it was a character. It's not like she was great with it. You be the judge. Fine.
You didn't think it was gonna go down like this, right? Will you go with him?
Oh God, just say yes, girl.
Will
We
you
want
go
you to say
with
yes.
him?
We can all feel the moment.
Will you go with him?
Just take a second and breathe it in. It's beautiful.
Okay.
I said take a goddamn second and
I'll
breathe
do
it in.
it, I'll
Take
do
a
it.
second. Don't say yes right
Yeah! We're going inside. We're going to the lobster.
We're
The
in the goddamn moment.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't.
No!
I won't.
No!
Oh.
No, no, Lotus! You ruined the goddamn moment! Everything was so special! It was so special and beautiful, and then you just said yes, and I didn't have time to process! I didn't have time to process!
Trying not to. Oh my God.
That was the dumbest thing. The dumbest
Mustache
thing.
was
That's not gonna make it past the
I
edit
love
either.
that.
That was so dumb.
It was so
It was
good.
so dumb.
You did
Hold
a
on,
good
don't
job.
say it was dumb. You were like, dude, Don Lasagna's got to be in the show. It's my favorite character.
So dumb. But looking back, and that was a mistake. I was wrong. Looking back on it, that was not funny.
Can I ask you
But
something?
doing it was funny. Yeah.
You had the first time I came into the studio and I walked in your office, you had the tally marks like you were in jail behind your desk. And I was like, is he really counting the days?
That's true. I was.
What goes on here?
I was counting the days.
But that was a part of a Don Lasagna thing in jail? No?
No, that was too.
Was that something else?
You know, Kevin actually.
I
When
thought
you-
I
Was
But
that
when you
personal?
play lasagna enough, you become lasagna, and it's just one of those things. That
Yeah,
character
tally how
lives
long you've
within
been
me
baking
now.
for. I've been in the oven too long. Time to come out.
That was the very beginning of the show. That was like the first
Sure.
50 episodes of The Attack. That was just the
Great.
first chapter in this long after-school special. That is the show. There was eventually a time when Kevin left and he turned the keys over to just me. And then there was a short period of time where he realized that wasn't such a great idea.
Yep. Brought in an adult.
Yeah, you brought in the other reason why the show still exists. He's our executive producer, Corrado Corretto.
Hey!
man. He pushed the door so hard, another door came out.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
He had it coming. He
Alan
had
is
it coming.
so light that he didn't break the foam he hit.
He looks
He's,
like the lady
he's still
in the
moving, so
house.
clearly he's alive.
Great, perfect. You live there now. Hey, it's Corrado, everybody. Executive producer Corrado of the Attack. There he is. Great. Hey, man, how's it going?
Good.
Who are you for the kids at home who don't know?
Oh, I am the one executive producer. There's an army of us, and I'm the guy that kind of hustle bustles and pushes everyone to make the show.
Yeah, that's true. That's
That
why
is
he's so
true.
muscular. He's the only one anyone will listen to.
Yeah, every day it's 1 o'clock, 1:05,
That- in that
1:06.
exact
And he's not looking at a watch in this. He is giving someone a
Get
giant...
back to work, you ingrates! Get to work!
Hey, man.
Get to work!
Just like that.
Awesome. So Corrado is also the master of improv comedy, as you just saw there. He really knows how to frame a moment. He's a great guy. Corrado, how did you join the Attack family? Because you, like I just said, you kind of joined after Kevin left, looking over the show, and we needed a guiding eye. So when did you enter?
I entered at a time, I came on board to work on another project with Kevin and Yaniv, which at the time was part of, I think, the super creative company that they had going. And the Attack was happening on the side.
Yeah.
And I was in there working on something completely different. And Kevin kept saying,
Karate, apparently.
this is how I,
Yes.
Yeah.
typing.
That's
And,
very cool. You
and
typed that.
yeah, I will smash them keys. And then Kevin was like, "You got to check out the Attack. You got to check out the show. You should come and play." And I remember when I first came in, I remember like they're like, "Hey, Alex, this is Corrado. Say hi to Corrado." And Alex literally did one of these. He was like, he did one of these like,
Like a dog.
"Who is that kid?" Like, "All right, whatever, dude."
I'm a brooding genius.
Yeah. So
You gotta brood first.
clearly he wasn't going to. It wasn't like you weren't just going to accept me right away, and I was fine because I actually had work
I
to
think
do.
that's just you. There's an air about us. I'm sure Aaron did the same thing.
No, Aaron and I were like this immediately.
Yeah,
like
it's-
there was no trial
Seriously, yeah.
period.
I just have to be very careful with
man.
who's trying to get very HR. No, thank you. Here. This is favoritism, and I hate it.
Yes.
So you joined.
So
you
I
didn't like me.
No,
Already a great summary.
no. I think it was vice versa. I just think there was a feeling each other out period.
Sniffing each
and
other's booties.
and so there was. So one day, so Los was TDing the show. Los was like doing all the switching for the show, and he was sick one day, and so Kevin had to take his place, and he was doing the controls, and I went in there, and the camera, like one of these babies was.
You can
sitting-
already tell the camera's zooming in and out. Like
Yes.
Yeah, and so. I don't know if we can show.
What was that?
that's great. Hold on, that was a great clip.
Is that the entirety of the clip?
That was all that was good. The crowd's like, this is my favorite moment.
Right. They're like, let's use something with no moves in it. Well, so what happened was I grabbed the camera and then I just started farting around the studio, and
That's just due to his age.
yeah, and pooping my pants. And then I look over and Kevin literally did one of these. He literally like pulled his pants down and had them around his ankles. So I ran behind the desk and I started shooting it, and it was just shenanigans the whole way through. And then I realized like. It was intoxicating. Like right then and there, I was like, "Oh my God, this is great. We could do whatever we want." And you were hilarious, and yes, and then I fell in love with you, and then Kevin, like I think, slowly creeped out. Like he slowly receded into the darkness.
Well, so far we've collected that you were intoxicated by a man taking off his pants and you fell in love with me. So I would creep out of the situation. So
that's interesting.
That's really the moment you fell in love with the show, when you were kind of like, hey, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Well, I think there was an energy, right? There was an energy to it. There's a certain bit of like. You keep calling it community theater.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's more
you
like.
say it, and I'm like, what is he talking about?
It's like
An amateur production is happening.
yeah. There's a traveling sideshow carnival aspect to it. Great.
Get your medicine, drink your potions. We are the Attack.
Every one of these, all of these yahoos, like, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
If that doesn't look like a scary clown.
Definitely drink the juice.
I don't know whether to applaud that or mace that.
true. No, but we love all of our peeps, and it really started like small like that, and then and it just blossomed from there.
Sure. So let's talk about your relationship. I want to talk about your relationship with me because I feel like that's something that was two of these creative forces we kind of had to take hold of what the show was going to become. And then the first thing me and Corrado ever worked on, you made me kiss another grown man. And not that was necessarily a problem. It was just a very strange creative choice for you to force upon me.
That was an interesting.
Maybe that's how he gets you to open up when he works with people for the first time. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. And maybe that's what he thought made you uncomfortable. And he's like, okay, I got to push him.
We have that bit.
Romantic. What a twist that nobody saw coming. This is really a delight. And there we go. Oh, those roses.
Boy.
Those have
So yeah, this is the zag.
I don't remember what this bit was at all.
This was a zag.
He gave me chocolates. We might have to cut away from this one early, too.
Because Big Mike. That is.
You can get away from that.
That is trust.
A mustache.
That is.
Yeah.
That is trust, right? I'm like, I promise.
Or
you,
assault, whatever you want to call it.
This is gonna be brilliant, and it was. You see, it was hilarious.
Great.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I take solace in that we're not gonna be able to show that. So that was the very short period of time where I listened to you.
Yeah,
and
that ended immediately.
Yeah, that ended immediately, and I feel like there was like this period of trying it out, but I feel like once we came together, it was like the beginning of Voltron coming together. It was the core team, and I think the show got better when you came on. So
we had you were a prodigious and gifted writer. You used to be.
Prodigious.
Now you've surpassed yourself, but gifted, talented writer, and then I had a 5D. And
you had a camera that
I had a sweet camera, and I knew how to snap zoom, and so suddenly stuff began to.
I think it was
get up produced.
It was more than that. I feel like just creatively the show.
Just like that.
Me and Corrado both had very similar sensibilities, so the bits started to come together. The comedy segments started to come together a little bit more solidified, a little bit more cohesive, and it led to what you're going to say. One of your favorite early bits
This is one of the first bits that came together that kind of it involved like taking elements from the pile at the time where we were like, we need to work. Yeah, we needed to work in a video from a clip that we showed, and then like doling out some payback on our host Evan at the time, who had shocked me one too many times, and so we were going to get full retribution by shocking her. I wrote the intro to this bit. You created the Night Court header that was attached to it, and then you and Kevin acted out what ended up becoming the shocking of Evan, and it is one of my, it is low budget. Once you get to the actual bit, it's super low budget.
Can confirm.
But it is one of the funniest things I think we ever did. I think we have a little bit of it.
Well, let's see just how funniest it is. Perfect.
Yeah.
Guys, do we really need to do this?
This is pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah, it is. Very cinematic.
This is Corrado's fantasy.
Shame on you!
That was 25 minutes of shooting that to get the balloon to land on her head.
It was not it was a tough special effect. Yeah.
Shame!
Shame! Mike Rotondo with the cheese.
Who throws cheese?
Watch how the hand slap doesn't match.
No, really, you smell like a wet sandwich. Come here.
How did you know?
I'm
Thank you for your kindness.
I just did it for the sandwich.
Your take on that one.
Yeah.
We didn't see what actually happened.
Well, because she died.
Yeah, That was the moment she left the seat
Now I
of
have
the
a
plane.
question. Is she vegetarian or vegan? Is that why you're throwing like
No, it was
cheese and
that was
because that's what I thought.
that was the walk of shame. It was a bit from the Game of Thrones. It was shame.
See, that's what
Why
I first
it
thought.
was
I
all
like,
sandwich
no.
based?
Just so that
I
like
had no.
it.
Because at the end,
That
I
was
just
great.
wanted to show that I did it for a sandwich. I thought it was brilliant that I like that people are throwing meat and it's a sandwich. I was like, yes!
I went in, Corrado was writing this. There's a bunch of red like string on a bunch of pictures on the wall. It's like, it all ends in the sandwich. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely kind of when that started to happen. Because before then, it was like, what can we make Alex eat? What can we? And which doesn't stop now. But that was kind of like when the comedy sketches and bits started coming together. Is when you started coming on. That being said, not everything we've done has been a win. I feel like on the show, Aaron, you know that we don't necessarily bat 1,000. But you know, there's some stuff that you didn't like we did on us doing on the show. You brought your least favorite moment.
All right. Well, listen, I would like to say that I just don't like being put on the spot. I think we've come to realize that, though it's a tough place to work and expect something like that.
We all know Corrado doesn't like doing that to other people, so why would he like it himself? Huh? Crazy. Huh?
I just had a foot in my face, you guys.
Yeah. But you said that was whatever.
So okay. Well, at one point, our gracious, my good friend and gracious leader, Kevin Pereira, during a live stream that was actually a charity stream, offered to shave my head for if we hit $110,000. We were already close, and there's not a lot left. Yeah. 2 weeks after that, I refused. 2 weeks after that, Alex, you actually raised like $2,000 to do it, and it ended in this: the worst moment of my professional career, humiliated for all to see. My wife was vehemently against it, and this is the aftermath.
How long
you guys.
did it take to grow back?
You know what? Truth.
Corrado was like, oh, I got put on the spot. You guys forced me to cut my hair, and then I kept it for.
Truth be told, I don't know. I don't know that I'm ever going to go back.
Yeah, this is the worst thing I've ever done on the show. I kept the haircut forever.
Well, I'm not saying you guys weren't right. I'm just saying that moment was horrible.
Well, I'm sorry we gave you a haircut you kept for literally a year. And right now
and replicated.
Yeah, you look like a 45-year-old Justin Timberlake in the 90s. You have frosted tips.
I'll take it.
Corrado, thank you so much for joining us on the couch and talking about your
good old
portion of
days.
the show. Yeah, the good old days.
I'm learning so much.
I know. Yeah.
I didn't know this was gonna be like a learning corner for me. It really
more
is.
you know.
It's all history that's important. So make sure that no one ever repeats it ever again. And yet the Voltron was not yet complete, ladies and gentlemen. Once Corrado joined, there were still people who had to be brought on. That when you came on the show, there was still only like 5 people who worked at the show. So there's a lot of history that we have to skip because we have to get to when I got my full-time co-host that I needed to share the fun and misery with. I needed one of those. So that's where Aaron slithered onto the scene, but unfortunately you're already sitting on the couch. So I don't know. Let's just clap for Aaron.
Growing up on a farm will teach you. Good aim.
Yep, that's all you ever need. Not the first time you've done that either. Aaron, hey, you've already been here, so I need to welcome you.
I have been here.
So, Aaron, you joined the show how long ago?
Oh gosh.
The best thing that's ever happened to you.
I had to think about it. October of last year.
Oh boy, and your life
October
hasn't been the
2016.
same.
Yeah. No, it really hasn't. It's definitely changed a lot.
Has it?
Because of it. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you were doing before this. I don't know how you got here, when you got here with the
struggling actress trying to do everything. Never thought I would be a host. Like never thought that would ever happen. Now I'm a struggling host, doing weird things every day. But I'm in an environment that lets me be weird and myself every day, which is so cool. I never thought that would happen.
Yeah.
So that I'm like, wow. I'm always so extremely crazy wowed over it. But yeah, I got roped into it because I had been working with Nintendo a lot, and I met Kevin at the GameStop convention he always does with Nintendo. And I was just putting his face on these chairs, and I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, why does he look familiar? Because I used to watch Attack of the Show, my brain was like, Adam Sessler. And I was like, I don't know.
Which, if you don't know who that is,
right?
just look it up. They look nothing alike, but it's very funny you got his name wrong.
I really thought it so I asked my boss, and she goes, no, it's Kevin Pereira. And I go, oh, yeah. I used to come home from school and watch Attack of the Show. Cool. So everyone
like,
started.
oh, yeah.
No. I was like, oh,
I'm good,
it's awesome.
actually.
I wish he was Adam Sessler.
So, too bad. I want to say 4 out of 5. No, and for everything
He
you
used
do.
to teach numbers. That is the thing he used
See,
to do.
I remember numbers. So we were all, my boss and my coworkers were drawing on his face and making, like pirate eye patches and stuff and masks, whatever. They were drawing on his face, and I drew a Sailor Moon with an eye patch, and I gave it to him. And then he was like, you should try coming on the show. I was like, I don't know. I've never seen a teleprompter before. And he's like, just try one. And I was
Do you have an irrational fear of teleprompters? I can't be around them anymore since the incident.
How am I gonna know? They're pretty scary. Unfortunately, I didn't make the comment, how hard can it be? And he was like, okay, yeah, let's see you do this. And I was like, yeah, definitely ate those words.
This was a spite audition. It was.
I think so.
Let me make this woman sad.
Yeah, I think so. Because I was like, can't be that hard, right? And he was like, no, it's really not. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, it's pretty hard. So I do it, and then the first episode was the Dark Souls Butts episode.
Yeah, we did the butt controller, which we did on our TV, which we did on TV in this,
which
most
we did.
recent
Yeah,
season.
exactly.
But,
we actually did it this time. Which
Yeah,
is awesome.
We did it before. What a nightmare that was. But how was your first show? Was it as easy as you thought it was going to be?
I was nervous, but I was excited. I remember you asked me, like you said I had won some skipping and galloping thing. Let's see how high you can jump and how far you can skip. And so we did that. That was really fun.
I'm sure that was quality content. Whatever it was.
Perfect.
I don't remember.
You had me jump over these blocks, and then you were really good at it. You jumped over like 3 of them. I jumped over 2.
That's probably why I did it. I knew I was going to be better.
At it. Exactly.
Perfect. Me.
And then the Dark Souls Butts thing was really fun. I had just played like through the first boss of the game, so I was like, oh, I got this. And we didn't do it.
Yeah,
We were trying so hard. We were like going for a long time. And then I remember Deinfeld popped up, and I was like, I don't know what to do. What is this? Who is this dinosaur? I had no reference. I was like, this must be an
You didn't
inside
watch
joke.
a single episode of the show before you came on?
I did, maybe bits and pieces.
Do your research.
I know.
Lady.
Oh, he has a hat on. I did watch some of it, and I remember Kevin's like, this is what it's like. And he just showed me like the opening that we always did. And he's like, this is what the show's like. And I was like, oh, that's enough. I was like, definitely not. No frame of reference.
That's nice.
No frame of reference. So yeah, that was the first episode. But I had.
Did you feel good after it? Did you feel bad? Were you like,
Yeah,
I want to do this
loved
again?
it.
You're like, I must call the police.
No, I loved it. I was like, this is so fun and so different. And again, I was embraced for me and my weirdness. And like, I was like, oh wow, I can be me, and I'm like, that's so cool, but I can be creative and like.
Well, it's like when
so
a new
much
weird kid
wiggle
comes to
room.
school, you're like, just don't make fun of him.
I
Really
was the
try
one
to
who
say
was-
hide him and sit next to him in lunch.
No, exactly. No, I was the one who was like, hi, you're the new kid. I'm Aaron. So like having that, I'll be on the other side of where I am the new kid, and that was very welcome. Was so awesome.
Was there?
There's so much love.
Yeah, everyone loves Aaron.
I love you guys too.
Was there a moment?
Steebs came about, which actually, this wasn't the first place that I was called Steebs. And I'll never forget that because you said, we have Steebs here. You just said it. And I was like, I think that came natural, but then it stuck.
Because
like silly putty to a
Stevie
wall.
sounds like I need to like give you a wedgie.
Steamy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stevie
it's
sounds
so
like a nerd. I want to be
nasally
like, I want to give
and
Stevie a
nerdy.
wedgie, but Steve's is cool.
It is cool.
You can do a
you're
bunny
right.
hop on your BMX bike.
And I had never heard anybody call me Steebs until I moved to California. Never in my life. And then a bunch of other people called me that. So when you said that, I was like, oh, that's familiar.
So what you're trying
I'm
to say is
aware
that
of
I've built a brand.
No, you didn't. I'm saying you did do that. It did stick. But I had been called that before, and I was like, oh, that's a real thing. So I like it. I think it's super endearing, and it's better than Stevie, because I was like the last name in line at school. And
Is either that or Stinky?
Stinky, yes, exactly.
Which is what I call
My feet
you.
smell and my armpits smell and all that. But
She said
yeah,
it, not me.
I know. 'Cause I have so many memories of being on the show, because we've done so many interesting, bizarre, amazing, great things together.
You don't have to lie. You can say you don't have one. I've had so many
I
great.
have one. I think my favorite one is when you made me eat 100 bear claws.
What?
100. Boy, I don't think I can eat another bear claw. Ooh. Yeah,
Aaron,
that was fun. I like that one.
hold on. Are you
was a good
sure? I don't ever think I made you eat 100 donuts. I don't think it's real.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't eat 100 bear claws. I wrestled a bear. Remember? Yeah, that's it. I wrestled a bear.
I don't
That
actually.
Oh, bear claw.
Welcome back. Hi.
To a
Hey.
very special episode of The Attack. You made it just in time for you.
Yeah. This is like a weird fireside chat we're about to have with the audience. I want to talk to you about what the boys at school are talking about.
Get your whiskey and your tea, little boy.
Okay. Hey, all show long we've been talking about what makes The Attack such a special and, quite honestly, weird little show.
And since we just ran down the strange path that brought the show to your TV, we should probably talk about how we stayed around for longer than the 3 months internet show usually lasts.
And the answer is simple. None of us here, actually. We're not capable of doing that. It's you guys. You are the only reason. Yes, you're the only reason we're able to keep the lights on for more than a few episodes. It's community, it's support from them. And beyond supporting the show with your own money from our Patreon, you've been creating stuff for us to use on the show since its inception. You've been creating art, you've been creating a lot of cool stuff. So, yeah, we want to talk about that.
Yeah, we thought it would only be fair to show off just how creative our community is. So without further ado, let's show off a bunch of free stuff we didn't have to license. Yeah! Thanks again, guys.
Yeah! One of the most creative members of our community has been the artist Mocha, who has been drawing our staff. She's been drawing stuff from the show, inside jokes, since the beginning of the show. In fact, she drew this picture of me as Machamp for a live show we did. And
I've never seen that.
if that's not Nightmare City,
That's really cool. She's so talented. Well, beyond that, she has drawn posters, shirts, and most impressively, pictures of everyone who works on this show.
yeah.
So she drew me.
Yeah.
Picture of me. Look at me! Oh gosh, I love it. So
Wow, this is-
Can I just talk about this a second?
Totally, I wanna talk about all of them.
One, I love Sailor Moon, so she drew me as a Sailor Scout, but she drew me as Sailor Roy G. Biv, and she's like, I couldn't get all the rainbows in there, so she made it green, which is my favorite color, but it was Sailor Roy G. Biv because one time I was talking about how you remember the planets, and I said Roy G. Biv, which is actually the rainbow. You get it. Yes. And she also drew Coral.
Yes. she drew
As an
Coral.
awesome. Oh. Hot dog.
Coral-
That's a new one. I haven't seen that
I'd like
one.
to talk about Coral's proportions. Her legs are so stubby. I don't want. It's not like that in real life.
Not in that bear costume.
And she's so mad she's cooking herself. Look at that little steam puff coming out.
So cute.
I will say, people are like, oh, why'd you draw Coral like that? Isn't there a nice drawing of Coral in normal clothes? That is Coral's normal clothes. We keep getting. Look, she changed for the show because she knew she was going to be on camera. But when she comes in like that every morning, her mom lets her dress like that to go to work, and that's her normal clothes. And then this is a costume. I want to make it very clear that.
And she's like Pigpen has all those swirly little fuzzy things around her. Well, she takes that and she pushes up above her head, and that's floating. You can't see it on camera, but you can see it in real life.
And she does
See?
smell awful.
There it
She
is.
never-
Yeah, so you can't see it, but
She never washes the suit. It's actually just a
drawn
big
in there.
stank line
Yes.
that's above her head.
Yes.
She smells like wet
above her head.
meat. Let's go ahead and go to another one of our executive producers. This is the most recent one that Mocha drew. It's our producer, Jeremy. Wow. I know, this one's actually really
Dang.
cool. It makes a Coral one look like, wow, did you even try on that one? But this is him. He's got his dumb chucks, which are his dumbbell nunchucks. He's got his
love it.
cool Clash of Clans crown, and his eyes are glowing because, I don't know,
Jeremy.
jaundice. But overall, I'm going to say this is the most impressive one she's drew. They're only
like
getting
that
better.
one.
And I'm going to say this has really kept spirits up. Mocha's like, we've only used a couple of her drawings on the show before now, I guess. We've only used them a couple times. But they really keep us going, and they remind us that, like, we're not doing this in a vacuum. People enjoyed the show so much that they would draw pictures of the people who work here. And listen, can we get a shot of Corrado? Corrado, have you seen the Super Saiyan one that she's drawn of you before? I think so. Have you seen Mocha's drawing of you? Well, look at the joy on Corrado's face when he sees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at. There we go.
That's awesome! Cry, Rhino!
And I can see why Corrado was so happy about that picture. There we go.
That makes me sad.
What? Corrado, what's wrong? Corrado, you don't like that
It's
bit?
cute though.
I like the other one better.
What? That was it? You know, Corrado, I was like, she did draw one of Corrado where he looked like a Super Saiyan, but that wasn't accurate to what Corrado actually looks like. So I said, can you draw a more accurate one? Yeah! So that was it. And look, she keeps spirits up just like that.
Does.
So I want to thank Mocha first
you,
and
Mocha.
foremost for keeping everyone reminding people here that we're not doing the show in a vacuum.
Yeah, exactly. He fell so hard into the abyss, he turned into a flat old man.
Do you think old people work like tubes of toothpaste? Well, they're out of use. Go ahead and throw them in the garbage or buy new ones. They're all flat.
He was like, and then he faded into that.
Yep, just like the end of Superman 4.
My mind is a cartoon
He was in a
show
flat
all the
square and
time.
went away. And our community doesn't just have illustrating muscle. They also have other skills that are artistic. They also know how to push some pixels in Premiere. We have some editors who watch the show.
Yes, we do.
One of our most prolific fan editors has been Jason Woot, who has been making stuff for us. Yeah, Jason Woot. He's been making stuff for us for over a year. It's a lot of edits.
Incredibly amazing. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with his art, he takes the garbage we put out and makes it funny.
Yay!
Yeah.
It's supposed to be my job.
He makes art like this. Check out this edit of the tackle he made.
Yeah.
In 3,
I keep trying, but it's just
2,
sitting down plus tight shirt.
1, suavemente!
Oh, I love it. He puts out some of the best stuff. I get so much joy out of it. I just laugh. It's weird. It's right up my alley.
I know. He made me looking like an idiot make me look even more like an idiot. Perfect. That's an interesting one. I don't know what isn't that meme supposed to be like I look like the Illuminati symbol or something when I get hit? That was just like what's that conspiracy that I look like? A coat rack falling down?
I think
that
it's
wasn't
too literal. I think he just was like, whoa, you got blasted so far that an alien came and picked you up. Right,
Great.
Jason?
So, wow, what a great improv.
Yes.
I feel like I talked to him recently for like the first time about how he makes these things, and he actually like uses like a 4-year-old laptop, so like he can't like record a microphone and use it and have Premiere open at the same time or like edit while doing After Effects because his computer crashes. So like
he puts a lot of love and time into this.
yeah, it takes a lot of time. I don't know if he has a normal job, but he's definitely not doing it as well as it could be because he's spending a lot of time on these edits. So I think they're awesome. And it's not just re-edits of the show he does. He does like original stuff he makes using our likenesses. When we originally started the show, I used to cut and edit everything, and that like even little jokes like that take a long time. So
absolutely.
I was kind of like someone is taking the thing we're making and cutting and turning into a thing, and they're making their own thing.
Yeah, I totally get it. One time I was trying to put in like what is the editing thing called? The editor, the main one, the Premiere, whatever. Sure,
yes.
We'll call it Premiere. In Premiere, I was trying to put just like a name, like a title card on a video. It took me 8 hours. Hey, but I was tenacious. I did it. Yeah.
Did you build the computer first? What did you? 8 hours.
So many videos, and because I wanted it to fade in and fade out, and that's it.
That's
And it
like
took me
3 seconds in
forever.
Windows Movie Maker. I don't actually know how.
I didn't have Windows Movie Maker, so I just went in and did it.
Well, thank you, Jason Moot, for doing it, or else
Yeah,
Aaron
thank
would be
you.
dead by the time she made that. Yes. Thank you.
And if anyone out there is from the year 1885 and only understands things are made with hands, our community is so creative that the member EQ Washu built part of our set with her own 2 mitts.
Yeah, she actually built Deinfeld. You can see the process right here. You know Deinfeld. He's our dinosaur lawyer. She actually made this for us and didn't charge us. This was like just something that we got from her. And this is like a very intensive build. It takes a long time. He's all made out of like EVA foam.
Yeah.
I don't know how she shipped it here. That was probably expensive.
Incredible. Oh, absolutely.
But like, it's crazy and very cost effective that like our audience has been making stuff that we've been using on the set for a while. Like,
which is so awesome. Thank you so much.
it's literally something that whenever somebody walks into the studio, the first thing like, you have a big dinosaur.
Yeah,
Like,
yes we do.
you're saying this like I don't know we have it, but yes we do. So she made it and sent it to us. So our community knows no bounds. Their kindness spans all mediums. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And beyond all of the artistic community members, there are like numerous people who are moderators in the Twitch chat and our Discord channels and our subreddit who have, I'm going to say basically work for free. I can't say that legally, but they've basically done that. So we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't thank all you guys. So to repay you guys for all your years of hard work, here are all your names flying by on the screen much too quickly. Did it actually happen?
Whoa.
Oh, that was very quick then. Yeah, so
quick.
thank you guys for all your work.
Absolutely.
It means a lot.
And beyond everyone giving us way too many chances, way too much time, and just the right amount of money, there was also another group of people who took a pretty big swing at us.
Yeah, no, it actually wasn't enough money. And those are the people over at Disney XD and DXP who put this very strange, yes, they put a very strange, as you're seeing, show on television. And this is coming from a guy who didn't have cable until he was on it. I can honestly say that they are some of the most creative and forward-thinking people that we've worked with. Yeah, and this is a little bit sentimental because, you know, I believed in the show since the beginning, but they saw something in our show that I knew existed since episode 1 and that nobody else wanted to take a swing on. Since then, they validated everyone on our team and in our community's hard work, and that's something that I am, from the bottom of my heart, forever grateful for. It's amazing. Thank you guys for putting us on the air. Thank you. Thank you so much, and we gotcha. And even though I meant every word of what I just said, I am much too immature to handle being sincere for more than 30 seconds. So by all means, here's a groin hit, a head bonk, and a long fart in that order.
Hilarious. Every single one of them.
Every single one.
Moving on to more sincerity. Welcome back. You're just in time for self-referential comedy and inside jokes.
Yeah! And no, it's not a normal episode of The Attack. Today's show is a look back at the history of the show. We've already talked to the people who started the show and the community that keeps it going, so it's time to talk to the people responsible for making the dang thing every week.
We're talking about the producers, or as I like to call them, hey you. Let's get to our first, you. And the first one to join the team a year and a half ago, Joey.
No, that's perfect. Joey, come on out. That's it, Jimmy. Yeah. Oh.
Okay, he's like a dog.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
Everyone's favorite look at me. It's Joey Timian. Hey. Bursting through the door. Thanks for coming, Jimmy.
Oh, I'm happy to be here, Alan.
That was a good, Alan and Jimmy. So Joey, let's talk about, first of all, what just happened. Why did you just do that?
Well, Alan didn't break the door last time.
Yes,
so, I mean, we just had an extra door that could be broken. So.
This costs us about $10 a pop, so we got to make sure that we're getting some prime content from it. Perfect.
That's how you
Great
through,
shot.
Alan.
Yeah, that was definitely on camera. So, Joey, let's talk about how you joined The Attack, because every producer has a different story. You were the first person to be hired on to work on the show that wasn't me or Corrado. So, when was that? How did you get brought on in the show?
I sent Kevin a message on Reddit. That's basically the extent. I'm like, hey, you want me to work for free? And he's like, sure. And he gave me Yanni's email. But it wasn't Yanni's email. It was like Gerard@attack.media.
Okay.
And I'm like, this isn't a real email. So I had to like actually watch the show and connect the dots. Yeah. But I mean, it was a little breadcrumb. So once you followed that through, I feel like the reward at the end was actually getting to talk to Yanni and being like, hey, I'm going to come down. And he's like, sure.
So it was you were passing the ultimate test of finding how to work for him, when in reality he was just trying to get rid of you. Really, that's definitely how you should view it. So you started working as an intern?
As an intern, and that meant doing a lot of things, I guess.
Oh,
yeah, basically what that means here is that you do everything, but we don't pay you. So,
That's an intern everywhere.
Yeah, you get
legal,
school
but whatever.
credit, which is very legal.
Yes,
Yeah.
we signed a paper, and then you ate a bunch of 7-Eleven sandwiches. So you've had a storied history with the past. You were with us all the way from the very first studio we had in that closet where we started
all
the
three
show.
Studios. It's been a long ride. Do you remember when I first came? Like, what's your recollection of me?
No, once people get here, I give them about 2 weeks until they get a spot in my brain. Then I learn their name, and then I learn things about them, and then I actually start talking to them personally instead of telling other people to talk to them.
Wow, that sounds so accurate.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Was he super impersonable with you when you came also? Yeah.
What? No, I had to pretend to like you.
Yeah, you That's very true. You definitely did that, and I could see right through it.
Because I thought Alex hated me for like the first 2 weeks. He just was cold.
I just thought he was very pompous.
Well, yeah, you know, cold,
Incredibly,
pompous,
yes.
No, it's
full of
because-
himself.
Hey, I'm Alex, 6'2", Scorpio.
Yeah.
Never
I
forget
said
it.
that as a joke. I'm 6'3". So
Case
Joey was interesting because Joey was just like very kind and confident, and I was like, no, I'll wear him down. So it's a respect thing that had to happen. But Joey was interesting because you were competent, and there's some times where people.
Goodness.
It's
A flag that everyone else
go.
wasn't.
No, when you deal with free work in Los Angeles, I've seen interns on other film sets and they don't really know what's going on, but you were like, you knew what was happening, so I trusted you with a lot of stuff, and you were like the first person who I could trust with, like, if I gave you something, it would get done. If I gave you a bit, something would happen. And as I say that, we should probably get to your favorite moment, which is the first time you screwed me over.
I thought I ruined that on the first show.
Yeah.
Like, I got this modicum of respect, and the very first show I worked on, I almost knocked one of your teeth out.
Yeah, so we had a bit, I forget what it was, but I was supposed to be hit by eggs, and Joey didn't know not to throw it directly at my face, and whipped an egg at
They're pretty
fastball
hard.
pace.
They are very hard. We've learned to
Yeah.
not use eggs, or not use cheap eggs, because the shell's thicker, and whew, it really
Yeah,
does a
Yeah.
number.
you always see like on the thing, like, oh, people get it with old eggs. It's hilarious. No, apparently eggs are pretty solid if they're whole, and hit me right in the tooth. We have a clip of it right here. This is the first show he worked on, and the first time he messed up.
This is something I literally just saw recently. I saw this yesterday. It's a video of a dude for a year. He just kept throwing eggs at his mom to see if she could catch them. Oh! Oh no, Evan! Oh my God, that was a pretty good. Evan, that was a pretty good catch. You got it. No. Wait, oh!
It still makes me so happy.
It's because I like the second there you can see the micro expressions on my face. I'm like, oh, I'm injured. Also, do I still have my tooth? Yes, I do. And then I'm like, oh, now I have enough teeth to bite you on the neck. I will kill you for this.
You can hear the difference in the two egg sounds.
Yeah, I'm like the second I learn your name, new kid, I'm going to punch you directly in the face. So that you're gonna take your favorite moment and call it that,
Basically.
which basically shows just how our relationship works between me and Joey.
It's functional. I think we both have a lot of trust in injuring each other.
Yeah, I don't really know how many times I've injured you.
There was the one time when we were jousting. I went home and I was a little sleepy after that. That was a concussion.
That was a
But, you know,
that was a
no big
personal
deal.
thing. It was in a truck stop bathroom. Hey, let's talk about our least favorite thing. Is there anything that you've done in the past that you're not so proud of on the show?
Well, most of the comedy bits, but I think that's
Okay, well,
pretty fair.
Well, you rather us just talk about Dota 2 and esports.
I'd rather them just be funny, but
and
you know,
snack
whatever.
foods.
But I think the biggest dumpster fire we actually did was when we tried to do the Great Big Wheel Race.
Oh, yeah.
It was an entire
yeah.
saga
That was
of
just...
disaster.
My favorite part was that I got to wear a tiara, and we stopped and got donuts, but you weren't there for that, were you?
No,
You should have rode in our car.
Half of the people weren't there for that. We were waiting to
God.
start a race,
Yeah,
and you
that's
guys were
true.
gallivanting
Getting
around
donuts.
town, getting donuts, saving dogs, live streaming from a Toys R Us.
We saved a dog.
We're actually going to do our own Big Wheels Super Marathon live on Twitch right now. This is the Great Big Wheels Race. We're going to unpack the big wheels and embark on our 3-mile journey through Los Angeles. As you can see right here from this map, it is 3.2 miles. Yeah, that was definitely where I both gained respect for you and lost respect for you on the same day. So thank you so much, Joey.
You're welcome.
For almost damaging the most...
a little loose,
Don't
right?
touch my teeth!
Okay.
They're so valuable, and you have a bad history with them.
It's true. I touch your teeth.
They're pretty great, too. Well, thank you so much, Joey. Let's go ahead and move on to our next producer who works on the show, and I will say has injured me far less times.
Definitely
Super
true.
producer Nick Limon!
AKA my
And he's
senpai.
polite. Thank you so much.
Hello,
Hey,
sensei,
guys, it's Nick
senpai.
Limon.
Nick.
Hi, everyone. You may know him from...
Love you, Nick.
Love you too.
I have a problem.
You know what, Nick? Who are you? Let's go ahead and just tell the kids at home who you are, what you do.
I'm Nick Limon. I'm a producer here at The Attack, and that just means I do whatever you guys tell me to.
Yep.
That to.
And he means anything. So, Nick, let's go ahead and we've just been asking people what their favorite things that they worked on the show are, because you've done a lot. You've done a lot.
Yeah, I've done a lot over the past year or so. My favorite thing, though, of all time is the Resident Evil IRL camera challenge.
Yes, that's my favorite too.
Right? It's so much
It's one of the most succinctly named things that we've done, the Resident Evil IRL third-person camera challenge.
Yeah, man, it rolls off the tongue.
It was basically a stunt where we wanted to recreate the camera angles in Resident Evil and play a game of Resident Evil in real life. So we took these like remote-controlled cameras and put them in the corner of the room, and then we wore these headsets. Why do you like it so much out of everything else we've done with those cameras?
I'm a big fan of doing a lot of like the old school video game stunts, and I just think that it's such a cool idea to try and show people how clumsy it is to operate like the way games kind of portray themselves. So I just thought that was a lot of fun. But I think my favorite part was just kind of like designing my own game where I would set the cameras up in different corners and see how it would look when people progress. And it was a lot of fun making my own little game in real life.
Putting everything up and kind of seeing.
We had like a little riddle. I got to write like a little poem riddle thing. That was fun.
And then I got to do it.
Adorable.
Great.
Well, here's the stunt. It's the Resident Evil IRL third-person camera challenge. After you, Aaron, if you want to put the goggles on, we will cut to the camera that you are seeing, and you may go.
This light isn't very good.
It's not.
Oh my god. I can't really, I don't even see myself on this camera. I hear the zombie. I can't really, keys, got it. I can't see anything.
Oh, that's a miss. Aaron, get out of there. Aaron, watch out. No, that's definitely the sink. Leave. That's a miss. Okay, she's through. Okay. Who is falling?
We did a good
That
job.
was Jason. Oh, that was Jason. Jason was the best zombie because every time he'd get shot, he would like commit to his fall and just hit the floor so hard. And I was like, ooh.
And he kind of looks like one.
No.
Did you ever get
There we go.
Look at that.
Our own personal zombie.
It's good we employ his kind.
Now,
The undead it is.
did you ever get to actually try it yourself? Like, did you test it out?
Yeah, I tested it out like a bunch right before. It was a very, very big headache. It was a lot of setting up, a lot of trial and error, and just seeing how far the radio frequencies could interact with the headset but still be out of the way. It was a lot of trial and error.
You made moving cameras farther away and walking farther away from them sound very scientific. We had to determine the radio frequencies.
they're
Like,
RF
does it still
cameras,
work?
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to walk farther.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Does it still work? So I love that stunt too. Nick, thanks for bringing your favorite clip, dude.
Thank you,
Anytime, anytime.
Now, promptly, get the heck out of here.
Okay.
We're going to bring in our next producer and TD extraordinaire. It's Carlos Riveras here. Carlos.
That's a signature move, and I love it every time.
Great. Well, looks like Los doesn't want to be on. Great. There we go. I'm used to sitting on his lap so I can get up to his height. Carlos, how's it going, man?
It's going well.
For people who don't know who you are, what you do, you're not the security here. What do you do? Who are you?
I put all the tech together. That's about it.
He's the guy. He makes the ones and zeros be able to transfer our funny through the internet. So
He's really good
Los
at
is the tech guy.
I've learned so much from you, Los.
I learn stuff from myself every day.
I thought he was going to say Aaron, but yes, he does learn stuff from himself. So Los has been here for the long haul. You started the show with me, Kevin, and Yaniv back in the day.
Oh, man, do I remember it? Yep, it was just the four of us, and we didn't have any money, and...
You've been hanging out with Kevin a lot.
And they were like, hey, let's do this show. And I was like, okay, bring computers from home. You bring your laptop we plug in, and yeah, it's incredible what we have now. We have like this entire studio, and
more problems for Los to fix. Yeah,
would have never thought.
I bet it was really cool to see it grow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
Los has been. He built all this with his bare hands.
I wasn't here for any of that. I can't appreciate it as much.
No, I mean honestly, it's easy to look at kind of the original like 4 or 5 people who made the show and be like, oh, I understand like why they were important for the show to keep going. But without Los, we seriously could not. Me and Kevin didn't know how to do anything. So Los set up the cameras, he set up the streaming computer. Like we're like, what's a capture card? So he pretty much put the studio together and has built the tools for us to make the show now. Like this isn't we make a TV show with cameras and a computer platform and recording software that like no other TV show really uses. You kind of pioneered how an internet show works into how a TV show is shot.
Yes, like I said, when you don't have money, you have to get creative. And The creativity is what makes the show.
Wow. This is so heavy that Erin has.
She found out we don't have money.
I tried to hold
She's
it.
allergic to pour.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, her blood's gonna start
So
shooting out of
sorry.
her pores. So, Los, you've been here for a very long time. So your catalog. Erin is tearing up at the fact that you've built the studio from the ground up.
Sorry. Yes, I am. It's so amazing. It's so precious. It's really wonderful.
Thanks, Erin. So, if you were to go all the way back in your Rolodex, what is one of your favorite things that you've done on the show?
Oh man, it's anytime I get to hurt you, but my favorite one is the tackle.
You were the one that tackled him? Were you the one that attacked him?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes, I tackled him.
Yeah, he attacks me often, but that's usually on the internet. No, Los basically put out randomly on our Discord channel, how much money for me to tackle Alex? Which is not a question he asked me. It was a question he asked everybody else who had the money. He wasn't like, hey, Alex, how much money? And then you just decided, like, it was like something, it was a couple $1,000, and I was like, okay, good, we're never going to get that. And then, somebody, Deagle, donated, some username Deagle, donated a bunch of money for it to happen. And then I was like, he was like, good news, we got the money. And I was like, I didn't agree to this. And then smash cut to, I guess, it happening.
Yeah.
So here's the clip.
In 3, 2, 1, go! Suavemente!
Oh! Am I still here?
In 3, 2, 1, suavemente!
Oh!
Did he knock you out?
Good times.
You look knocked out.
Here's a little bit of behind the scenes. I was not knocked out. I was in a lot of pain, but I acted like I was knocked out, mostly because I didn't want to talk to anybody after that. So I didn't pretend to be knocked out. In reality, I was just very hurt. So it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine, and my brain still works pretty good. And it's probably the last time I think you've got to hurt me. You said you loved it for it to happen, but
I love for it to happen, but now you guys have producers, so you guys have other people to hurt you.
Yeah, a lot of people. Joey throws eggs at my face, and I will say, Los one other time, like on a dare, punched me in the arm, and he left a bruise so bad that my mom wanted to send you an email. She was angry when she saw it. Yeah, she was like, I can't believe he did that to you. That is such a large bruise. That man is that brute punched you, and I was like, no, Mom, it's totally fine. I told him to do it. But, Los, thank you so much, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, for giving me the cameras in which to make fart jokes in front of. You are an indispensable member of the team, and you have honestly pioneered filmmaking, I think, in terms of making cheap internet shows. So, guys, give Los a round of applause. Guys, Los, get out of here as much as I love you. We have one more producer. It's, I'm going to say, the light in everyone's eyes. The reason everyone gets up in the morning, the shining emo star in everyone's hearts. It's Coral Frederick, everybody.
The only other lady besides me here.
Yeah. That is absolutely not true.
Rachel.
We have at least 2 other ladies. There's more ladies.
One other, Rachel.
And then we have some intern ladies.
Well, sometimes.
Hey, Coral's here! Yay! Coral is Coral's an interesting story. She is another producer, like the other people we've brought on here. She makes the show, but your story's a little bit different.
A little different?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was brought on originally as a PA for a totally separate project.
Yes.
And then that project didn't do so well, and it ended. And
Because it wasn't this one.
Over this one, yeah.
So you joined forcibly. They were like, "Hey, if you still want to keep getting paid,
Yeah,
you have
if
to
you
work
want
on
a
this
job,
show."
you have to start working on this stuff now.
So I think you were one of the only people who didn't seek out this job specifically.
I had no idea what this was.
And you still kind of don't. So, do you feel like you fit in with the show? Do you feel like
I think I've like carved out my own little corner of it. Yeah. Fit in. Okay.
And she does carve out a corner. She's in the corner of the office and where no one bothers her, and there's a lot of Taking Back Sunday coming out of it.
What's your favorite thing that's happened so far here, then?
I think my favorite thing was the Pokemon battle you two did.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yes.
I forgot about that one.
Pokemon Battle is, I think, prime Coral because our favorite thing to do to Coral is we don't have an art department, so she will have to produce a bit, get all the scripts and the clips and all the stuff in order, but she'll also have to just then make all these things. So with how much notice did you make these Pokemon costumes?
I made them in the morning. I think I was the only producer in that day.
Okay, so everyone else was out.
It was impressive.
Coral made all the costumes out of felt and foam, and then we ended up having like one of the coolest looking bits we've done in a long time.
Cool.
And you drank a lot of fish sauce.
Oh, I'll never.
I didn't like that.
I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and go on a limb and
You
say
dump
I like
worms
that.
on my head.
Here's Coral's favorite thing. It's the Pokemon battle.
Wake up,
Okay.
I'm going to choose Metasol!
Choose Blastoise chooses Rapid Spin.
What?
Come here.
Giga Impact!
That was a great bit. That was a great bit.
Really good job.
Yeah, I think you're still have your hearing damaged, and you're still grossly. Yep, perfect. That actually made me laugh. And I'm still impressed by the things we made. Unfortunately, I think those costumes got destroyed when we moved studios.
Yeah, they didn't do well.
But they were made of felt. So overall, Coral, I think you've had a very storied past here, but you're definitely, I'm going to say, the most valuable member of our team, but don't tell anybody else. And there is kind of, there's an elephant in the room. There's a little bit of, there's a conspiracy out there that Coral you might be somehow related to Princess Hot Dog, a character on the show.
Confirm or deny.
Listen, I'm not going to say that she is Princess Hot Dog, but have you ever seen them in the same place at the same time? No! So listen, as we wrap this up, I do want to say, because we're going to get to something, I think we're going to get to a very important piece of filmmaking here. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching the show. Thank you to the entire team who's made this possible. It's amazing. Thank you to everyone in our Discord, all the people who watched since day one. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Coral. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, me.
You guys.
Yeah. And go ahead and I'll leave you with this. Look at Coral right now. Okay? Look at her. And then look at this supercut of Princess Hot Dog and tell me they're not the same person. I'll see you on the flip side. Goodbye, everybody. I love you all. Princess Hot
Dog. Thank you, Princess.
Yeah!
Try some more. It's your turn.
I don't know. All right.
Muscles. All right.
I don't.
Ready?
Okay. Do the thing.
Yeah! Woo! What you got?